Hey guys, if you notice, this is a little different. We didn't get to run ETU yesterday between a combination of people being sick, people not being able to show, and my bank causing some issues where they called literally right at game time. So instead, I figured I would use this chance to talk about the weird things with XP and ETU and how I handle them because I've shown this to a lot of people in the forums for the years I've been running ETU. A lot of people use this. If you actually have seen an XP calendar for ETU, odds are it's what? It flashed. There we go. Odds are it's this one. And if you've seen this one, you're welcome because I made it. I made this the very first time I ran ETU, and I'm going to cover it a little bit right now because the thing is, I'm I'm going to draw on it probably, so I wanted to be prepared. The thing is, ETU has an interesting quirk with a design decision they did. Every time characters have an advance, they also have an exam. And it's not just any exam, it's either a midterm or a final. And you have 2 terms per year, which means 4 exams per year, which is actually perfect because 4 advances and you have a rank, and every rank is a year. So I see where they went with it. The thing is midterms and finals are dates on a calendar. Now, I didn't go to specific dates. However, I did put the rough, like, when a semester starts, when the finals are, and all, based on the ETU class calendar on the Fighting Ravens website, the year ETU came out. Those dates can shift a little bit year to year, but I'm not rewriting the whole calendar. I then also broke the year down into the months that actually happened, skipping summer, which is June and July, because you come in at the end of August. And that works. It actually works really well. We do cover summer. I'm going to talk about it. And then each of those months is split in half, plus a special slot, plus a holiday. I did it that way because you'll see how things kind of line up once I start doing this. So I'm not going to be able to see myself, but it should work out fine. I'm going to start over here. I got a bit of a red marker going. So the first semester of the school year starts in August. It starts at the end of August, so there you go. And then that can be one adventure. Then the second week could be another good place for an adventure. There's nothing special in September that goes in the middle. Typically, this is midterms or finals. Then a potential third adventure. No holiday. I should also note no holiday here. A potential adventure. Potential. Now, if you're noticing, this is a lot of adventures. Well, this is based off the system I set up for... Oh god, I did that all on the wrong layer. This is based on the system I set up for the first time I ran ETU, and I'm going to cover that as well. But basically what it was I ran a long form campaign. And by long form, I mean 1 XP per adventure. You don't have to run it this way. However, when we look at this and we look at the timetable where adventures roll out, it averages about 2 weeks of in-game time per 1 XP. Now, my whole group, we all kind of agree we want a very long campaign, so we were fine with 1 XP apiece. Now, what if you don't want to do that? That's fine. This is where it gets interesting. So, say we're just going to do a standard we'll do kind of a theory campaign. If you're running Degrees of Horror, you know you're starting at orientation. So, you will be first week. Now, if it's 2 XP, if you want Rush Week in that first week, or in that first year to, like, matter, you might want to lump it in, okay? Because 1, 2 XP. Now, you don't have to. You could do it this way, but then once you do Rush Week, you know you're basically borrowing time. At some point, that time has to be made up till you jump to midterms. That's kind of the nature of how it's going. I got it. There we go. That's just kind of the nature of how things are set up. The other nice thing is, say you can move things pretty quickly. Say you have a really big adventure to start things off. And then you go, man, nothing else really happens till Halloween. Well, you can give them 5 XP for that adventure, which will jump them to midterms. They take their exam, and you know Halloween's after midterms, which, again, according to the ETU calendar with the Fighting Ravens website, that's their official website, Halloween is after midterms. If you want to keep it true to the school schedule, that's fine. It also lets you do things like, oh, I want a Halloween adventure. Let's be honest, ETU is a horror setting, so Halloween's going to come more than anything. You know Halloween will always be after one advance. Always. Even if it's first year. Just always set up. The other nice thing is this gives consistency. When is Rush Week? First half of September every year. Just done. When's Christmas break? It's always after finals of first semester. You have first semester, then you have Christmas break, then you have second semester, then you have summer break. So if you want to do a Christmas adventure or a summer adventure, either talk to them and go, well, this isn't during the school year, so it's not going to get you XP. You'll just get like stuff and connections, or have it borrow. Now, Ed Wetterman and Preston have said, you know, you can shift when the finals actually happen, but this is to try and keep it to the calendar that kind of got set up. Now, what are these like Adventure 3, Adventure 4? They're filler. If we were to run a season of a TV show, because that's how I tend to write, mainly it's my background, these are your filler episodes. They don't have to be campaign specific. They're also really great because if Rush, we'll just assume our starting one's a simple adventure. So it's 1 XP. But then say we want to keep in the college theme and we do Rush Week. And maybe Rush Week ends up big. That's 1 XP. Rush Week ends up being big and it's 2 XP. Well then, it just ate Adventure 3. Which is fine. It just means things quieted down, or we can gloss over that time at school. Or maybe it's not adventure-wise, and we just kind of go and have some RP time where you're going to classes and stuff. Maybe Adventure 4 is a small one. Or what's really nice about this setup is with the specials is midterms and finals don't take up a whole 2-week time frame. They can be kind of crammed into Adventure 4, Adventure 9, which is also Crunch, Adventure 14, which is also Greek Week time, and Adventure 19, which is also Crunch. This lets you know you can cram those, and those can almost always guaranteed to be 2 XP adventures, which are actually very, very useful for designing campaigns, because it means you can have bigger, punchier adventures. If you're going like 1 is small, 2 is big, 3 is the grand ones. Those bigger, punchier adventures right before finals, which is important. Well, when I say finals, I'm going to mean midterms or finals, which is important though, because you want to eat up those bennies before they take a test. You want them to also be thinking, oh, I'm probably going to have to take a test this session. Crap, do I spend bennies now in the fight, or do I worry about spending them on my exams? Because a big part of ETU is that character dilemma of balancing being a hero and being a student. And to me, balancing the Benny economy of do you spend the bennies on being a hero or spend the bennies on your exams is a big part of how you simulate that. So that's kind of how I do the setup. If you notice, this is only 1 year because it just cycles. And it's great. Now, again, I'm going to do a wipe. Okay. I noted the ones I feel are important. If there's other ones worth noting, feel free to add them. But Rush Week, I think, is just pivotal college stuff. Halloween, obvious. Thanksgiving is more of a school thing. People tend to go home for Thanksgiving. It's where you can bring in family a lot easier. Your crunch times are actually really major. This is where you can start buckling down and reminding them you have finals coming. And I almost always put a big threat on crunch. Maybe not on midterms, but on crunch, because it's supposed to be that symbolic crunch. It's everything's piling down on you. Now, given a lot of the things, ETU kind of plays off Buffy a bit. There is actually romance as an extracurricular. The beautiful people play into this. Love stories and love triangles are a thing in a lot of ETU's writing. So Valentine's works really great. I noted spring break here, which if you know spring break, you're not typically at school, but it's one of our numbers. That means it can be an off-campus adventure, or if you're finding your budget for your XP is really tight, it can get shifted somewhere else. It also allows, if you do this XP budget shift, since it's after midterms here, it falls between midterms and finals, which means that XP can get shifted to finals, and you can have a big 3 XP climax at the end of every year without it throwing too much stuff off. That's also why we have almost nothing but filler spots at the end of the year. So your finale for each year can just kind of compound as much as you need. It also means if they end up rushing things, you can pretty easily play catch up. The only other one that was here is Greek Week. And Greek Week wasn't originally in my calendar, my schedule when I was first designing it. But from my first campaign and every campaign since, with the exception of one, I've ran it 5 times. 4 out of 5 of my campaigns has included them joining and eventually controlling a frat house. Now, in the one that didn't, a sorority house ended up becoming their enemies. So even then, Greek Week becomes very important. We then, on the outliers, as I said, have Christmas and summer, which are also great for palate cleanser adventures. So that's really it, and it's really that simple. When you combine it all, it's 20 XP, and it's a full year. And everything lines up. The other thing I love is this by itself. I actually blew it up. It's about the size of an index card. I personally have been known to print this and just fold it so I can keep it in my wallet if I'm running a constant ETU game. My first campaign, we actually ran daily 5 days a week. So we blasted through. It's why we were also okay with 1 XP per session, because we blasted through 80 sessions in about 3 months. It was a weird time in a lot of people's lives. So we had a lot of free time, and I was very lucky for that. But this is a calendar you can keep on hand. You can also copy it and have maybe 4 of them on a sheet. And whenever they gain XP, you go, all right, gained XP. Oh, this one was 2 XP. Check, check. Now we know this is where we are in the year. It really helps you keep track of the school year. Really, really helpful for keeping up with that. Anyways, I'm sorry there wasn't a full-blown adventure this week, but I hope for you guys that are looking to run ETU or are currently running ETU, this was helpful. I'll catch you guys next time. Bye. If you like that video, check out over here, whatever it is, it's probably pretty good. Don't forget to like, share so other people can find the channel, and subscribe right up there. YouTube now won't let me put a link to the Patreon, but there is a link down in the description below. So if you want to help support the channel, check that out, and I will catch you guys next time.